I've been working on a few knives today out here in the shop, and I just got them done. I thought I'd show them to you and see what you think. Maybe you have some ideas, some suggestions. That video is coming right up. Hello everybody, and thanks for coming back for another video. This is Dave. Glad you're with me out here in the shop today. So I'll start off with the thumbnail picture, and that's one of these Belgian clasp knives. I was incorrectly calling these British clasp knives. They're actually from Belgium, and I bought a number of these on eBay in this condition, and I got one done this morning, and here it is. And it is not perfect by any means. This is a prototype. It cracked on me right here. I think in the future, if I use wood on them, I'm gonna eliminate wood on the marlinspike portion where it pivots on the marlinspike. I'll just cut the wood down right across here and then just use shorter rivets for that section. And unless I'm using a synthetic like G10 or something like that on them, micarta, that kind of thing, I can get away with it. But I used mahogany on this one, and you see it split on me there. These take 7/64 pins, quite a bit bigger pins, and these are a nightmare to put together. You have to do it kind of in 2, almost 3 stages, because these pins are so strong in these. You can't put these together in the conventional way. You have to compress both of these springs kind of at the same time when you put the spring pins in. But I developed a technique, and it worked pretty well, and I had to make some special tooling. I'm going to have to redo it a little bit better. And then once I do, I will make a video on that, just in case there's anybody out there that wants to work on one of these, taking it apart, putting it together. I'll show you the tooling and, homemade tooling that I make in order to put these together. But they are a little bit tricky because the springs are really strong, and they're actually, the marlinspike uses both springs at the same time in the opposite direction as these two blades. And yeah, they're kind of a nightmare to put together. It took me quite a bit of time before I came up with a method that works pretty well. So like I said, I'll show that in a future video, the tooling that I make to put these together with. And then also I got a number of these blades. These I'm calling them bird and trout knives blades. They're 4 inches long, new old stock Colonial. These are stainless steel. These are the only ones that I have from Colonial that are actually stainless steel. So they're perfect bird and trout knives. So today I played around with a couple of different handle designs. The first one I came up with was this one right here. And in this case, I just used a piece of wenge wood, and then I made a ferrule. And you might be able to tell what I made that ferrule out of. Right here, a CO2 cartridge. I drilled it, slotted it, and cut it off, and made a ferrule out of it. And I would have made it in a little bit deeper so that you wouldn't have that, but I wanted to be able to see the tang stamp, and I didn't want to cover that up, and if I went down in there any farther it would have hid the tang stamp. So I left it like that, and put some finish on it, a little bit of wax, And it's a small handle, but it feels good because it's a small knife, you know. So there's the one I came up with. And then the second one I came up with, I think a couple of you have commented that it'd be nice to make these where they were floating. And I had the same thought. And I have a number of these. I'm not sure how many I have left. And it's a real dense foam. It's actually a 3/4 inch thick flooring mat that interlocks together. And I have a bunch of it. So years ago, I cut these out, and this is just rough shaped. And I made a bending jig to bend up these stainless 308 stainless rods into that shape. And then what I would do is I would bore a hole in it and then put this in there with epoxy. And then after it was done, I would plasti dip it with a fluorescent yellow plasti dip. And I have a number of them still that I didn't sell or give away, but they're floating fish hook removers. And I used to give these away to customers that were interested in them, that fished a lot and stuff. And they work really well, and they float. So I still had some of these laying around. So I made a floating bird and trout knife right here out of one. And this one, unlike this one, I cut the tang off a little bit shorter on this one. And then I filed in some grooves and then epoxied this together. So the epoxy goes into the grooves and helps keep it from pulling out. But on this one, I left it full tang, just like this. And the thong actually goes through this hole at the end. And that's what holds it in there, although I bored a very small hole and it went in very tight and you can't pull it out. I mean, not easily anyway. But just having that through it, I did originally have a little pin. I took a piece of nickel and had it in there where it was hidden. I just poked a little pinhole and then I tapered the nickel and then put it in there, and you really couldn't even see it, just a little tiny pinhole. But then I thought, you know, it'd probably be nice to have a little thong on it, and then the thong will actually hold it instead of the pin. So, I mean, it's not coming apart at all. You can't pull this apart. And it floats. I tested it in a bucket of water, and it floats perfectly. And it has a really nice feel. It's a super lightweight knife. I mean, this thing doesn't weigh anything at all. But I think it'll be a good usable knife like that. Like I said, the grip is very comfortable on it. For threading these, I made a homemade staghorn bead for it. And to thread things, if you're trying to thread paracord through not this so much, you could actually do this one by hand. But I thought I'd just show you a little trick that I came up with. You take paracord, and this is an upholstery needle, so the head's pretty big, and then you just put the pin up inside the paracord, and then heat it up, melt it, and smush it around it, and it's firmly attached to it. Now you can use this to thread through if you had a pretty long, small hole to thread paracord through. This works perfectly for that. And you can just heat it up and pull the needle back off again, you know, and reuse it. So I thought I'd show you that little trick. It's handy when you need it. So yeah, like I said, I still have some work to do on these. I kind of got a process down. This is the worst one. It's pretty pitted. The other ones aren't pitted hardly at all. This, I believe, is the oldest one, and it is an ABL, but it's stamped in a different location. It's actually down here, you know, and this one says CC 0530 at the bottom. So not sure when this was made. I'm guessing in the 50s also. And also I didn't reuse these little grommets right here on this one, but I plan on reusing those on future knives that I put together. I just wanted to play around with this one and just see what the process was going to be to put them together. And like I said, it's not impossible, but it's a little bit tricky, and it does require special tooling to do it right. So And it's just because these springs are so strong. They're so thick and they're so strong that just conventional clamping up in a vise doesn't work without special tools. Let me put it that way. I couldn't get it anyway. Even tapering the pins didn't work. So I kind of struggled with this one. But this is a prototype. This is the first one I put together. I have a number of them. So each one will get a little bit better and a little bit easier to put together, especially once I get the proper tooling made in order to work on these. You have to do the blades first and then the marlin spike. You can't pin the marlin spike in and then be able to, because it's just, like I said, the spring has to bend one way and then back the other way. So it makes it a little bit tricky, but not impossible. So we got a system down for that now. I just need to perfect it. So I don't know, this one's kind of unique looking. I kind of like it. It's different anyway, that's for sure. So yeah, this was just a couple of real quick handle designs I came up with today. I'll be making some more different types of handles for these. I have a number of them to play with, so I won't make every one of them different. Once I come up with a handle design that I really like, I'll probably make 3 or 4 like that. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, I would like to do some bone. I do have some bone. I can try making some out of bone, and I think those would look really nice. And of course, staghorn, those would look good too on these. And I may have a piece of staghorn that's straight enough, or I can boil it and try to straighten it. I've had a little bit of success doing that in the past, taking staghorn and put it in boiling water for a long time and then clamp it up and straighten it a little bit. I could probably try and do that too. That's where we're at. That's what I was working on today, and I thought I'd share it with you all. And I have a couple things planned for tomorrow I'm going to work on. So if I get a video out tomorrow for that, come back and join me on that one. I really do appreciate it. Hope everybody's having a great day. This is Dave. See you in the next one.